Okay, Emily, you're good.
Hey, Woody. Coming off that 4-game series against the Padres, in which a lot of strange things happened, including, the national outcry about unwritten rules of baseball. How how thankful are you to be moving on from that? And how important is it to just kind of be like, okay, that's done. 4 grand slams in 4 games, all the extracurricular stuff to just you got to kind of wipe your hands of it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, it's. I'm never going to shy away from a debate. Obviously, I love talking about the game. I'm raised in the game, but at the same time, I'm ready to be here. Let's move on. They beat us. Last 2 games were gut wrenching for our ball club, but we got to move on. We got to move on, keep our head high, and keep competing. We have 30-something games left, so we got to keep going. And this is a good series to kind of start. Play well tonight, hopefully get a W and just take every day at a time, man. You can't look past that. We obviously have a lot of tough series coming up, but we're going to do what we do. We got to take it head on.
So you go through peaks and valleys in a 162-game season. It happens. It's part of every season. When it is such a condensed time frame, are those things exaggerated, the peaks and
no
the valleys?
Doubt. I think that's this year. I think 2020 is kind of exposing that. You look across the league, looking up and down at records and where guys were 10 days ago as opposed to right now. And there's a lot of ups and downs throughout. And, we got to stay resilient. We know that we've been here before. We were 3-8 and we got fought back to 1 game over. We got to fight back again. Unfortunately, that's just where we're at right now. We can't cry about it. We just got to play better and lean on each other and kind of support one another and, keep having quality bats, keep making quality pitches and win some ball games.
We've talked about the defense in the last week or so, where it's been. Do you feel like you're getting back to where you need to be defensively and seeing what you want to see?
Yeah, we've been better. There's no doubt we've been better. We've made the plays. The work has been good. I think the attitude has been good, out there. I watch them during batting practice and watch their commitment to their routines. And, there's been a lot of good discussion about how to get better. And, it's been better on the field for sure.
It seemed like, and maybe I have zero numbers to back this up, so forgive my lack of research. Have y'all been less aggressive on the base paths than you were early in the season, or am I high?
No, I think that teams are just, and this is going to happen. You're going to have teams that understand how we play. And I think, San Diego maybe being one of them. And a lot of it has to do with game situations. If you're down, if you're not, if they're giving you opportunities. I said this many times, I like teams to know that we're aggressive. I want that. And, we just got done talking about the offensive side. I want teams to know that we're aggressive in the strike zone. I want that because that makes them prepare a certain way. It leads to a lot of, mistakes on the other side. Hopefully you want pressure. You want to create pressure out there. And that's what we're all about. So if teams are ready for us, they're going to be prepared. They're going to give us less times to run. But that in turn, I know is going to lead to better pitches for our hitters to hit. And that's where we have to be aggressive on those pitches to do the damage.
Gotcha. Thank you, Bud.
Okay, we'll take a few more questions, please. TR.
Is Kiner going to be your shortstop while Elvis is down?
Yeah, I'll get Rivera in there at some point. Rivera is a pretty elite defender at shortstop. So, if I want to put both those guys in there, you'd have a pretty elite left side defensively.
What is it about Kiner-Falefa? I mean, the guy was a catcher. He's bounced around. What is it about his character as a player that allows him to thrive, even though you guys move him from station to station?
I think his natural spot is shortstop. So I think that's where he feels the most comfortable. He's told me that many times. Just like there's obviously utility guys in the big leagues that can play multiple positions. I think, Ben Zobrist comes to mind. He's not nearly the defender that Kiner is. But, those guys, kind of pride themselves on being able to play different positions. And Kiner, being able to play third base, if you're an elite shortstop or you're an above average shortstop playing third base, you're probably going to transition pretty well. So, Kiner just wants to play. I mean, he's out there. He's a gamer. He's got that mentality of I'm the best player on the field, and that's what makes him successful.
But he doesn't seem to be fazed by anything that's thrown at him. Why
it's a great character trait to have. like I said, he wants to take every challenge head on, and I applaud that. And he's always been that way since I've been here. I know he was like that before I got here. Everybody talked about that in his makeup, and that's why we love him.
Next question, Sam.
Can you just talk a little bit about Kyle Cody and coming up, and he obviously wasn't really there in the beginning of summer, or even really till the very end. Why you guys liked him?
Yeah, it's. He's been a topic of conversation since obviously we had to put him on the 40-man. He hadn't pitched above A ball, but a lot of along the lines of Kiner, a lot of his makeup qualities kind of came out, and we felt it, with his stuff, physical ability, 96, 97, power sink, really good command, strike thrower with the lead, spin on his breaking ball. So it's, all the things were there. He just hadn't pitched. So we kind of took a chance and, added him to the 40-man. And, when we talked about the 60-game season, he was in the conversation, obviously, but we wanted to make sure he was built up to actually pitch. He hadn't, he was on a program, if you remember, in spring training. So once we got him through that, we got him a few outings in Arizona. He threw some live BPs, and he looked great, felt great. And that's when we added him to the 60, because I've been wanting him the whole time. We were just kind of taking it slower just to make sure he was in a good spot.
Just with Kyle, or just in general, how tough is it to know who to call up sometimes during this, because there are no games and stats and kind of things like that?
Yeah, it's a lot on our staff down there. It's a lot on our communication from the staff to us, looking at, what would translate to, real big league situation as opposed to, live BP. It's tough. It's not easy. I think every club is going through that. And if you can, the more you communicate and understand and talk to the players and get a feel for how they're competing, what they look like, are they throwing strikes? Are you challenging them in those lives, those simulated games, to make it as much as realistic and tell them, hey man, you're going to have to face Mike Trout. We're playing the Angels coming up. You're going to have to face these guys. Like, you might want to get that in your head while you're competing and not just go out there and kind of go through the motions. And they've been good at that. Our staff down there has been amazing. They've been creative. And that's where hopefully we get the trust to when we bring a guy up. Kyle Cody almost had to make his debut in a, extra inning game in San Diego. That would have been not the best landing spot for him, in my opinion. Trying to get him a softer one, but that was a possibility.
Thank you.
Other questions, please. Let's go to Chris.
Hey, Woody. You guys started off really slow. You had a really good, win streak to get back above 500, and now you guys are kind of reeling again. So I guess my question is, as a manager, and especially as a young manager, how has your message to your team evolved over the season, if it has at all?
Yeah, obviously you guys hear my words quite a bit. We have to just keep going. I think my message is sometimes personal to individuals, and then also as a group. We've had a lot of, unfortunately, before the season started, a ton of team meetings just about various things. So they obviously know what my expectations are, especially in times of crisis. And, my expectations for them are similar to what there should be for me. And I'm not quitting. I never have. And that's what I expect out of our team. Expect them to keep fighting. They did it last night. We could have easily been like, hey, we've lost 3 in a row. These guys were down 3. This game's over. We didn't. We fought back. We had some grinder bats, and Danny got a big hit. So it's still there, but it does affect your confidence in being able to win a game. And I think that's where we got to get over that hump, because we, at some point, haven't gotten the big hit or haven't made the big pitch when we've needed to. But I think if we do that, maybe that'll hopefully get a little bit of confidence, because season's far from over, man. We got a lot of games left, and I know it's a short season, but at the same time, we're going to fight to the end. And I know our guys will do that.
We're getting closer and closer to that 30-game mark that you mentioned before. Obviously, there's still some time, but some pretty big series coming up. Obviously, you have a division series this weekend, and then some pretty tough opponents coming home, coming to visit you guys next week. So I guess my question here would be just how have you looked forward to that, or are you still that 30-game mark still too far in terms of making decisions?
No, it's a big mark. I mean, I think it has a lot to do with what we'll do as an organization as well. I mean, it's kind of the same situation we were in last year. Like I said, I'm not going to shy away from what's staring us in the face. It's, I just want our guys to say, bring it on. I mean, let's take the challenge head on. If you get beat, you get beat, but you can't shy away from it. You can't get worried about it. You can't stress about it. Like, you got to prepare. You got to prepare to win each game and fight to the end and fight to the last pitch. And that's all I demand out of our guys. That's what I expect out of our guys. And, as we go into these series, we're going to try to do the best we can to come up with a strategy to beat them. They're doing the same thing to us, but, if they take us a little lightly and we can take advantage of some things, we can beat anybody. And that's baseball.
All right. Thanks, Woody.
One or two more. Kiner's ready. Evan?
Woody, I've always kind of put Heineman in that group with Trevino and Kiner in terms of work and where they were. Given where you are with Willie out, and it appears Chu is out again. I know it's against the lefty tonight, but does Scott deserve more of an opportunity, or can you commit to more of a look for him?
I would like to. I mean, ideally, with Chu's a little banged up right now, so I think I would have started Chu tonight. Whether it was a left or not, he would have played yesterday. But yeah, it's a good opportunity for Scotty right now. He's been unlucky this year, to be honest with you. I've looked at a lot of his, deeper numbers. He's been swinging about pretty good. He's given us really quality at bats. Obviously, we know he plays good defense. So, I look forward to. He's probably going to play the next couple games, maybe the next 3. I don't know. So, it's a good opportunity for him to kind of get out there, and hopefully, luck will go his way, and he'll win some ball games for us because he's been playing pretty well.
Great, thank you, sir.
One more, anything? We good? Jeff, last question.
So what's wrong with Chu?
He's got, mainly a calf issue. He's got some other issues that he's been kind of playing through. I won't name them, but he's just kind of banged up a little bit. And, we all kind of feel, we both feel that it's best for him to kind of heal up, because if he keeps playing through it, something's going to give. And then we're going to lose him for the rest of the year. So if we can get him healthy in a few days, so that way he can have a clean run at the last, 30-something games.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Emily, you ready?
Yeah. Woody, what can you guys do to stop the bleeding that's going on right now?
Play better.
Yeah.
I think, we gotta get up to better starts. Bottom line, we're giving up a lot of runs early today, obviously 4 in the first. We're not really doing much offensively the first couple innings. We need to start off better. We need to play better all around, but we have to. I know our guys are preparing. I trust their preparation, but the start of the game is important. We know how important it is to score first. I talk about it a lot. So we're on the flip side of that almost every game, and we're down 4-0, 5-0. It's really tough hole to dig yourself out of every single time. So our offense did okay, after that, but it was the third time around. A lot of times we're going to face a good pitcher. Good teams that have a deep bullpen. We may not face them the third time around. So we got to try to do some damage, try to get some runs early, have some better bats early on in the game.
You've talked about that 30-game mark, and I think we've all assumed it was, you're talking about position players. Are you looking at changes to the starting rotation at that 30-game mark?
I think we're looking at everything right now, to be honest with you. There's a lot of internally, not just for trying to win games and, stay relevant, but, obviously for our future and our development. Like you see what Cody did. And I know I talked about him pregame, the stuff is there. And, for him to come in and, his first big league outing, he looked pretty darn good right there, 3 punch outs. So, that's what we kind of want to, some of these guys we want to see, and I think in some ways they'll help us win games. So, what I saw tonight out of Cody leads me to believe that he might be able to go out there in an important inning and do the same thing.
Obviously not the start you wanted from Colby. Was there anything in particular from him? And then to piggyback off that, what Wes did for you, that was a pretty big spot for him to come in and give you what he did.
Yeah, it was kind of, I thought it was good. Colby, 0-2 first guy, left the ball out over the plate, base hit. 0-2 the second guy, left the ball out of the plate, double. So it was, right from the beginning, I was like, I don't know if he's missing middle or it was kind of weird. And then he gave up a couple jam shots after that, but just couldn't stop the bleeding. And that's kind of been the story, throughout. in the last little while. It's like we just cannot stop the bleeding. We keep giving up hits, and we have to get guys out of the game. And we were in a bind right there with getting into the bullpen in the first inning. That's never a good thing. It stresses your bullpen out. But what Wes Benjamin did was huge for us. For him to go 4 1/3 and keep us in the game. He gave up a couple runs, but we were right there. After the 5th or 6th inning, we were within 2 runs. So great job by him. I knew what to expect. Throw strikes. He kind of found a little groove there at the end. Tried to stretch him a little further. Ended up walking that last guy, but he did a great job for us.
That's it for me. Thank you, Woody.
What else for Woody? Other questions, TR?
Is Benjamin a guy that you would want to look at in the starting rotation?
I think by the way he threw tonight, maybe. I mean, it's a consideration for sure. What he did tonight was kind of obviously what he knows his role is right now, to kind of come in if something goes down early. I've liked what I've seen. I know he's going to throw the ball over the plate. I know he's going to command all 4 pitches. I think the more I get him out there, the more I like him. So, yeah, I mean, he's making a case for sure.
I mean, what do you do with Allard? You just
obviously nobody's given up on Colby. We all, love the kid, and, he's just got to pitch better. He's had some rough ones, and, hopefully, we can kind of right the ship. We can talk through it for the next start, and hopefully we can get him back on track because we need him.
Other questions for Woody? Jeff?
When you talk about seeing young guys for the future, I mean, how deep into the alternate site have you guys discussed going?
I think everybody there, to be honest with you. I mean, I think it's open game. Especially if guys are going to come and help us. If we feel like they're ready, I'm not going to bring up a guy if they're not ready. I'm not going to just force something in just to get him here and, throw a couple innings. I'm not going to do that, or to get him a couple of bats. If we feel like they can actually handle it, like Kyle Cody has shown, our staff, down there, showed our staff in spring training, just in everything he's done. We obviously slowed him down this year just to try to make sure he stayed on track with his program that he had going in regular spring training. But everything led us to believe that he's going to throw the ball to the plate. He's got a slow heartbeat, as you can see, and he goes out there and competes, and he's got, elite stuff. So you saw that tonight. So that's what we're looking at. If somebody shows those characteristics, then yeah, I would like to see him. I'd like to see what we got.
Okay. Thank you.